Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show here on News Talk KFYO. We continue to talk about the 2020 election, and joining us on the phones this morning, Dan Eberhart, Chief Executive Officer at Canary LLC, also the managing partner at Eberhart Capital. Dan, welcome back to the show. How are you today?
Thanks for having me back. I'm good.
Good. It's great to visit with you again, and we've got the Biden campaign rolling out their agenda when it comes to energy, when it comes to drilling and everything else. And really, I call it the Biden plan, but this seems more like the Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders plan when it comes to energy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. The fact that Biden has chosen to lean to the left and adopt Bernie Sanders and AOC's Green New Deal is shocking to me.
Well, tell folks what this would do to, the energy sector in the United States, what it would do for oil and gas here.
Well, some of the stuff just doesn't make sense to me. But, I've always thought of this, banning fracking as an applause line in a Democratic primary. But I think if you ask folks if they want the price of gasoline at the pump to double, an awful lot of folks would say no. A lot of these things, are, we like to fly, we like to drive our cars, and, I'm a big proponent that if some of the renewable stuff is a better answer, then, let consumers choose, and eventually they'll choose that. But I don't want the regulations coming from on high telling me how I'm supposed to get my energy. I think the free market should solve.
Yeah. And how does, the president's energy plans compare to what the Biden, Sanders, Ocasio-Cortez plan? How do those two plans, compare to each other?
Well, basically, the Biden plan is he is adopting this large parts of this Green New Deal, which is, one, too inexpensive for us, and two, just doesn't make a lot of sense. So the other day, he talked about creating jobs, good paying renewable energy jobs. But what exactly are those jobs? Because a lot of this renewable stuff is uneconomic without subsidies. So we need subsidies on top of subsidies to potentially create jobs that are energy inefficient compared to oil and gas. Mm-hmm. So to me, this is running around spending too much money for too few jobs, and you're putting the existing oil and gas jobs in jeopardy. Biden didn't do anything for the energy industry when we've partially collapsed as a result of this virus, and then now he's wanting to, ban fracking and all these other things that are, I think, don't make any sense for the American consumer.
Yeah, and meanwhile, you have the president who wants to keep, people actually in jobs and continue those jobs, and to promote those type of jobs.
Yeah, no, I think there's a huge contrast here. Trump is about energy independence. He is really much more supportive of these extractive industries and the economic policies that help places like Texas, North Dakota, and Oklahoma. And, he's also at the same time focused on regulatory rollback and trying to really have the EPA balance, damage to the environment and environmental consequences with, jobs that can be provided. There's a NEPA ruling this week from the administration where they're trying to make the assessment of environmental impact studies make sense. Right now, a lot of those, the timetable for those can take up to 7 years. And that's just too long to decide whether you're going to green light or red light an infrastructure project. I think that that's something that you should be able to study the environmental impact of in 2 years and give a thumbs up or thumbs down on. And that's something the Trump administration is working on.
Yeah, I'm visiting with Dan Eberhart here on the Chad Hasty Show. When it comes to the Biden, Ocasio-Cortez, Sanders plan, would that result in tax increases on the American people if that were to go through?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So Biden's looking to roll back the Trump tax cut, where about 82% of people receive less taxes. He's also looking to raise the corporate tax rate about 3%, which is going to mean companies have less money to expand and less money to pay workers, and will further stall our economic growth. I just flat don't think this is what's needed right now.
Yeah.
I think companies need kind of more coddling than usual, and we need pro-growth economic policies, and Joe Biden just seems to have the opposite of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Dan Eberhart, appreciate your time today, and I'm sure we'll visit again soon before the election.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It's Dan Eberhart here on the Chad Hasty Show. You look at this plan being rolled out by Joe Biden, and really it's not just this plan when it comes to energy. It's every plan that Biden is rolling out. It's not his original plans. It is the Elizabeth Warren camp that is influencing what Joe. But there was a great article last week saying that Elizabeth Warren is influencing many different parts of the Biden rollout. And that's why, honestly, she's considered one of the top contenders for his VP, is because she's having a huge influence on his policies. You look at the agreement that Joe Biden came to with Bernie Sanders. You just think about this. For those of you out there who are just so disgusted with President Trump, right? The never Trumpers who are out there, and you look at Joe Biden as though he's a moderate. Look at what the plans that this guy's promoting and who's coming up with them. This is a guy who is saying that his energy and his energy and economic plans are going to be run by AOC and Bernie Sanders. His part of his agenda is going to be run by Elizabeth Warren, and Beto O'Rourke's going to be in charge of gun plans. I mean, does that sound like a moderate Democrat to you? I mean, this election is very, very important because, again, we've talked about this so many times. This is not Joe Biden's campaign. He is just the name on the ticket. I mean, he is the name on the ticket, but all the plans are being drawn up and implemented, or will be implemented by the furthest left crowd that you could ever imagine, and that should scare everybody.